Hello.
Hello.
And welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been, a couple of weeks.
3, I think.
No.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Sorry.
We didn't film in the last 3 weeks because we didn't feel... Well, we just weren't feeling it, were we? There's been a change in the tier systems. That was announced just before Christmas. And so, of course, that meant that we couldn't have Christmas with our families, like a lot of people. So it's not specifically unique to us. And I think what it did was it just took the Christmas cheer.
Yeah, we hit a little bit of a low point, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That Saturday when he announced it, I think we just thought, what's the point? We almost took our tree down, to be honest.
We did.
Which we don't normally, we never do that. We keep the tree up for as long as we possibly can, and it just didn't seem...
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, the UK has got a tier system, which means that different areas have got different restrictions. And tier 4, which was a lot of our family, were under, that's the strictest tier, and that meant that they couldn't see anybody at all over Christmas. They just had to stay at home on their own.
Yeah.
And that caused quite a few problems for us, but it's now after Christmas.
Yeah, well, we've seen it through, so we're now in that no man's land between Christmas and New Year where, to be quite honest with you, you don't know what day of the week it is. You don't even know who you are or where you live, to be honest. So, so we're in that foggy period.
What day is it?
It's 4 days since Christmas.
Tuesday?
29th.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
29th. In case anybody wanted to check, it's the 29th. So we're now heading towards probably one of the quietest New Years. I mean, it's not really for us because we have quiet New Years anyway. We don't go anywhere. We stay on the boat.
Yeah.
But for all those people that have got party plans, etc., well, they're going to be seeing the new year in with a glass of bubbly and the TV on, probably.
Yeah, which is what we're probably going to be doing.
Yeah.
There's going to be another announcement, I believe, tomorrow. So that might change completely. At the moment, we are in tier 2, which means that we have to move our boat every 14 days.
And some of the footage that you'll see will be our cruise, the beginning of our cruise. It was an early morning, so we wanted to capture the light. So this is not just, we should point out this is a Q&A video, but it's not just Q&A. There is some canal footage in it as well, so stick around for that. And we decided we left early morning on the 20th of December, and we wanted to film the light and the canal as we went along.
Trying to find our spot for Christmas.
Yeah.
Somewhere nice and quiet, but still had services. So.
Yeah. So it's got some cruising video in it, but we thought we'd do a Q&A because we were asked a lot of questions, and we get asked them all the time. And so I apologise if we're repeating ourselves by answering some questions we've answered before, but I think we should get started.
Yes, yeah. I think our first one's from Danny Brooks, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
So this question is from Danny Brooks, and he asks 2 questions. The first one is about my eye condition, and will it affect me in the future, and will I still be able to cruise? The answer to that question is yes, if I look after my eyes. Basically, it's macular degeneration, which is a diabetic offshoot, if you like. It's a side effect of diabetes, and it's the #1 cause of blindness in people in the UK, probably in the world. So basically what's happening is that blood vessels are forming behind my retina, which is effectively going to decrease my eyesight. So they give me a course of injections, and it's a degenerative.
That's a word to say.
It's a disease that degenerates as I get older. So I'm always going to need these injections. But as long as I try and keep looking after myself, then there should be no reason why we can't keep cruising.
Yeah.
So, and the second question he asked was, when is my bottom going to be black? Sorry. When is the boat's bottom going to be black?
That was a bit of a personal question, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. He did actually ask, when are you planning to get your bottom blacked? We are, every 3 years we have to get our boat blacked. So we're due to have it blacked this coming year, 2021.
Yeah.
So we'll be trying to find a dry dock somewhere. So if anyone's got any good suggestions of good dry docks on the K&A, we would be gratefully receiving them. So we want to do dry dock rather than lift out because it's cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And hopefully we will be doing that ourselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't require any great deal of degree of skill to do it. It's just messy and hard work.
Yeah. So our next question is from James Wiedenbrook, and he has asked,
he's asked us how far we have to move when the 2 weeks is up. So when the 14-day period of mooring comes to an end, how far do we actually have to move till we stop again? Most boaters work on the premise that if you move a mile, then you're probably going to be okay. You can't move from bridge to bridge because they'll just click you when they go by. The spotters go by, they'll just mark you as being in the same spot, even if your boat's not in the same spot, but it's in that same zone, if you like. There are markers. If you go on the CRT's website, there are markers on the canal which show you, I think it's every mile, isn't it? So you can pretty well tell on there for how far you've gone. But basically, if you travel a mile to a mile and a half, you're going to be absolutely fine.
So there's no legal requirements, is there, to move the 21-ish miles a year?
No, it's set
but
down.
It's also a requirement
yeah.
too. So.
It's a rule of the CRT, but it's hard to enforce in law because they class it as bona fide travel, and when they had test cases, the judge asked the CRT, this is if my memory serves me correctly, the judge asked the CRT to define what they mean by bona fide in law, and they couldn't. So he said, well, if you can't define what bona fide in law means, then how do you expect your customers to define what bona fide means, because you haven't given them any guidance? And so it's a bit of a contentious one, but you're expected to move 21 miles a year, bona fide travel, and that's not just bridge. It's in one direction travelling to turn around and in another and come back, or you just keep going in one direction. So
yeah, so I hope that answers it. I mean, most boaters do move over 21 miles in a year anyway.
Yeah,
so
I mean, we manage.
Never normally a problem, but
I mean, this year so far we've managed probably 400, 500 miles.
In fact, we'll work out how many miles, how many locks, and maybe how many swing bridges we have done this year.
I think the swing bridges is probably a bit of a dodgy one, but locks and miles definitely. Yeah. Okay, the next question came from David Cox, and he has asked,
how does a woman's brain work?
I don't think we've got long enough. I really don't. I think I think what we need is an Alan Davies Narrowboat Adventure 8-part special on that. We really do.
We'll pass on that one.
Yeah, we'll skip that one. It's a bit contentious. But he does ask another question, which is, do we have any recommendations for portable walkie-talkies? It's a tricky one because we only have one that we use, and
we've got quite a cheap set.
Yeah.
But saying that, they worked really well, didn't they?
They did when you press the buttons. Julie has this amazing thing where she goes, "Come in, Mark," and pushes the button, then gets really cross when I can't hear it at the other end. Yeah, don't know.
And that's not the other way round.
No, it's not. I know how to work a walkie-talkie.
So these are our walkie-talkies. They're just quite a cheap make, weren't they?
Yeah, about 20 quid for two. You get the charger, you get an earpiece, wristbands, you get all sorts with them, and they're brilliant. I mean, they're made by a company called Baofeng, which is a Chinese company. If you want them, we can put a link to them in the description below. But they're brilliant. They're lightweight, fantastic to use, and they've never let us down. And they're also rechargeable, obviously, and they just sit in their little charging port. And when we need them, they're always there.
Yeah, and we have tested them. When we were coming through Newbury, Mark was quite a distance away, and we used them. I used them up the lock. As I say, Mark was a distance away, and they worked, didn't they? We were a bit worried about how far the reach would be, but they worked well, didn't they? So
they did. So Baofeng.
Yeah.
And we're not endorsing them, and we're not getting any money from them for saying the name Baofeng, but somebody's asked the question.
So Michelle Maria Russell has asked us a question.
She's asked if there's anything that we thought would be easy that turned out to be hard. And I've given this some thought, and I'm saying marriage.
Is that your answer?
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
Marriage.
It's tricky, isn't it?
What, marriage?
It can be.
You're very. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. This probably links back to how does a woman's brain work?
Ooh, you're going to get some stick over this.
I am. Well, I didn't ask it.
Yeah. Well, no, seriously, on a serious question, what is tricky about the boat?
I would say it's services and things like that. It's water, toilets. You can make your life easier by getting a compost toilet, but we haven't got the means to do that yet. So it would be things like planning ahead. You always have to plan for things, you know. What's the towpath like? Is it muddy? Can you get access to your car? Do you have access to the services? Can you walk to the services? Do you have to drive to the services? It's just stuff like that.
I suppose when it is difficult is if you're not feeling very well. If it's cold and it's raining and it's wet, you know, and it's raining for 2 weeks, and you're going to have to move the boat during the bad weather, that can be tricky. One thing we found is hard at the moment, our washing machine broke down, and so trying to find a laundrette is really quite difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially as we're all under different tier systems at the moment. So the laundrette that we probably could use in Newbury, we're not allowed to go into that zone. So
I mean, there are some
tricky.
days. There are some days because we need to save on the washing. There are some days where we literally don't dress. What we do is we pull leaves off the trees, giant leaves. I need a massive leaf, and we literally walk around like Adam and Eve at the Garden of Eden.
Is that it?
Just to save on washing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
No.
Yeah. Picture that.
Yeah, don't picture that.
Debbie Hockley's asked where can she get a copy of Annie of the Point, and the truth of the matter is that that would be down to me. It was published by a traditional publisher. We didn't see eye to eye, so I've taken back the rights to the book, and I have them all on a file on my computer, and due to the pandemic, due to laziness, due to being too busy doing other writing, I haven't got round to releasing it, but I'm going to do it this year. So those of you that have read Annie of the Point, well done, you've read it. And those of you who want to read it, it will be available this year.
Yes.
Sorry, I mean next year.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
So Deb Cameron has asked, how did we both meet?
Fate, really. You were in the...
you dare. You're going to go into the normal thing that you normally tell everybody.
What's that?
About meeting me at a funeral.
She was burying her personality. No, we actually met in the witness protection program. Yeah, you were on the run, yeah. Can we talk about that?
Right, Deb, I'll tell you how we actually met. We met on a blind date. A couple of our friends got us together at the Ritz Cinema in Gosport.
Gosport in Hampshire, beautiful town.
And we watched the film Twins,
yeah, with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was 17, Mark was 19.
Yeah. And, well, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
So
we now have 2 grown-up children.
Yeah.
Who've got partners themselves, and we're living on a boat.
Yeah. It's been a long, long time. I think if there was a song that best sums up our love journey, it would be The Long and Winding Road.
A long.
Yeah, or The Road to Nowhere. So we have another question from Eric Ledyard, and he has asked, if you had to choose between cruising on the Northern Canals or the Southern Canals, which would you choose and why? Do you want to kick off?
Well, the Northern Canal, there is more cruising to be done up there than the South. So I think we would probably choose the Northern Canals.
Yeah, we would.
But we've chosen the Southern Canals because our family live here. And so we want to be near to them.
Yes. So that's a nice, short and simple answer.
Yeah. So Michelle Maria Russell has asked us another question. What would we do differently next time round?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, really tough one. Other than maybe different boat. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the boat. We love the boat. It's fantastic. It suits our needs down to the ground. But having watched and seen lots of Dutch barges, that would have been maybe a consideration to get a Dutch barge that's maybe seagoing and maybe stretch our legs a bit and get out onto the sea.
Yeah, I think until you live with something, you never know what you would like, and never having a boat before.
This is true.
never having a boat before, you don't actually know what you do need and what you don't need. So, other than we would change the layout slightly in the boat, we would definitely have a Pullman dinette.
Yeah.
That would be something we would really like to have.
Yeah.
But yes, a Dutch barge that is seagoing. Yeah, that would be the dream.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, and our final question comes from Fred Mayer, and he has asked, do we think we'll get another puppy/dog? And I'm pretty certain the answer to that is we don't think, we know that we probably will.
Yeah.
It's just when it's right.
Yeah. It's been really hard without Eric this year. So,
very hard.
Yeah.
So, which is one of the reasons why we want to kiss goodbye to 2020, because in so many different ways it's been one of the worst years, I think. But it has been for everybody. So,
yes, yeah.
But yeah, so
next year maybe.
Yeah, probably next year.
Yeah. So let's cut over now to our cruise that we did on the 20th of December.
It's not the entire cruise, because that would have been about 8.5 hours. We only filmed the early morning bit because we thought the light was more interesting, and there was a lovely bird song.
Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end. I wasn't actually going to film today because Mark and I are feeling pretty low after yesterday's announcement of the new Christmas, which isn't going to be now. So we've decided to cheer ourselves up and try and get outside, get a bit of fresh air. We need to move the boat anyway, because we still need to move the boat every 14 days, and our 14 days are up. So we're going to move just a little way today, hopefully find somewhere to moor with some solar. But this morning, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun's not long been up, about 7:30, 7:45 it came up this morning. So a little gentle cruise today, and we'll see if it can lift our spirits. So there's some people that we would love to thank. Thank you so much for our PayPal donations from Edward Sage and also from Paul Arthur. They were very greatly received, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks guys, that was very kind of you.
Yeah. We'd also like to say hello and welcome to our new Patreon, Edward Sage, as well.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Edward. Glad to have you for the trip.
Yes, yes. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you to all our wonderful subscribers this year on our Patreons and our PayPal donations.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely incredible.
And just to you for watching. You know, everybody that watches the videos, that comments.
Yeah.
Everybody, it really does feel like a little community out there. We see regular names pop up with questions. We see regular people making comments. And it feels like we're building a nice little community of people that follow the channel.
Yeah, let's hope we can all meet up at Crick Boat Show next year.
Yeah, let's hope so. That would be lovely if we could meet a few faces and put a few faces to names.
Yes.
But I think we need to wish everybody a happy new year.
Yes.
And hope that 2021 is going to be better than 2020. Let's be honest. If 2021 turned out to be, you know, an alcoholic, drug-addicted sex offender, it couldn't be any worse than 2020, could it? Really, let's be honest. I mean, 2020, as far as years go, I think 666 used to be the most scary number. I think 2020's probably beat that now.
I think it probably has.
Yeah, I think it probably has.
So let's hope for a brilliant 2021.
Let's hope. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video,
if you can give it a thumbs up.
Don't forget to subscribe, and then when you do subscribe, click the bell icon somewhere around here.
Bing.
And that will give you notifications of when we post future videos. We love your comments, keep them coming. We answer every single one.
And we will see you definitely next week.
We will.
Bye.
Bye.